love what we doing, ain't nowhere around. Started from the ground, always gotta hold it down. Now they think they got it, cause they sign up on a data. But there's only so much money in the year that is allotted. Plus you probably don't even know how it is divided.
What's up, people? YouTube, this one here, bringing you guys another video to my channel, and today I'm bringing you guys another top 10. This is going to be the top 10 badasses from TV series. Badasses is kind of a weird word to use, I guess, but it's the one that kind of stuck out in my head. Basically, the coolest, most dangerous people, I guess you could say, from TV series and things like that. So this was a really hard list to make, and it took me quite a while to perfect it to what I felt like was right. So keep in mind that this is all from my opinion, from my standpoint. Feel free to comment down below, guys. I would really appreciate it if you guys would comment down below, so that way I could talk to you guys a little bit more. Comment what you would like to see in another top 10 in the future, and I will go ahead and make that for you guys. So to start this off, at number 10, we have Robb Stark from Game of Thrones. So if any of you guys watch Game of Thrones, I'm not going to spoil the show or anything for you, but Robb Stark became a pretty big deal, and I think like the second season or so, or maybe like the end of the first season, something along those lines. And for some reason, I feel like maybe a lot of people felt this way. I really liked Robb Stark. I got generally attached to his character, and I feel like the actor who played his part did a really good job. And there's certain things that happen in the series, in the show, that will really upset you the farther in you watch it. But he was a badass. He really was, because he had his wolf that just attacked people at night. He was like the definition of scary. People were scared of him. He was the king of the north, and people didn't want to mess with him, and I thought that was really cool. And I felt like if anybody was to be a general in a war or whatever, I feel like he really embodied that that vision, even though he was new to the whole concept of fighting in war and whatnot. Moving on to number 9, we have Glenn Rhee from The Walking Dead. So you guys probably know that I'm a really big fan of The Walking Dead, and the new season is about to start here soon. I'm really looking forward to it. I enjoy it quite a bit, and one of my favorite people in the show is Glenn. So when you first meet Glenn, he's pretty much a nobody. He saves Rick from a tank. This is old news. This is not new at all, so isn't really much of a spoiler here, but he saves Rick, and from then on, you see his character change a lot. He becomes a completely different person, and he starts off kind of scared and wimpy a little bit, and he evolves into this guy who will go and do anything you need him to do, and he always returns. He's always there for you regardless of what you need. So when you expect him to turn up and do something that needs to be done, he is there to do it. Moving on to number 8, this one you guys probably won't know, Nero Padilla, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, from Sons of Anarchy. So if you guys watch Sons of Anarchy, you're probably thinking, what? Why do you have this guy on here? He didn't really do much. You're right, he didn't do a lot in the actual show, but the vibe that I always got from his character was when he had a reason to do something. There was a particular scene where he felt the need that he had to go take care of business, and he did that, right? He was, for the most part, he was a retired gangster, I guess you could say, or a gang member of some sort, and he was very infamous. He was you know, famous and also evil at the same time. He was a bad guy, but not really. He had turned a new page in his life, and if he was provoked and he went off the rails, he was dangerous. He was going to kill people, and it was a very scary situation to see him, to always wonder, you know, what's going to set him off, what's going to put him in that position was pretty fascinating to me. Moving on to number 7, we have Daenerys Targaryen. So her character, to me, part of the reason why I think she's such a badass is because not only because she's a female, but the fact that she's a female and she's pulling things off in a period of time where females are not supposed to be doing this. That is pretty impressive to me. So they're doing all of these things, and she is basically like, you know, I'm gonna take over the world. Like that's basically what she wants. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna kick ass. I'm gonna take names. I'm gonna take back my home, where I came from, and you know, she has the dragons and everything else, and that is ridiculously cool. To me, she's very scary. She gets that straight-faced glance. She just kind of like looks at whoever she's talking to. She has no emotion. You can't tell what she's going to do. You can't tell if she's going to tell you to join her team or if she's going to let her dragons eat you. It's pretty crazy. And anytime that there's a scene with her in any type of conflict, she's really unpredictable. And that's part of the reason why I like her so much. Moving on to number 6, we have Arya Stark. So if you watch Game of Thrones, the most recent season, I won't spoil it, but I feel like Arya has finally showed her true meaning in the Game of Thrones world. And with that being said, I was shocked. I was blown away and I was amazed. If you guys have not watched Game of Thrones, I've already mentioned it like 3 times in this video. If you haven't watched Game of Thrones, you need to watch it. It's absolutely insane. So basically what happens is Arya becomes a trained assassin, basically, right? And she really shows that in the last season that was on HBO. And I'm trying to explain this as much as I can. She was always a really strong-willed person. She didn't really leave too much out there for anybody to pull her down. You know, she was put in these situations where she wasn't supposed to survive, or put in these situations where she was supposed to be sent somewhere or killed, or whatever else, and she makes it out. And on top of her strong will and the training that she receives in the last couple of seasons, she becomes a total badass, somebody who is stealthy and you never know where she's going to be, and somebody to really be worried about. And that's why Arya Stark is at number 6. Moving on to number 5, somebody who you guys might be kind of confused about. James Gordon, or Jim Gordon, whatever you want to call him, from the TV series Gotham. I just recently started watching this, and oh my goodness, is it good, guys. I really like the show. I've only watched the first season. The second season comes out on Netflix here tomorrow, actually, at the time of me recording this. By the time you guys watch, it's probably already been out for a few days. But James Gordon, to me, he's a badass because he does what he has to do to get his agenda across. He never does anything bad. He's not a bad guy. Like, in every TV series, a character that you see has his moments or her moments of where she or he is a complete asshole, or mischievous, or deceives people, or things like that. Then they have their moments where they are an angel, where they are good, wholesome people. But this guy, he never ever changes. Like, he is always good. He's always good, but he does the things that he has to do to get what he wants. And with that being said, that can be some pretty fucked up things sometimes. And when he does go out there and he does have a gunfight, or beats on somebody or whatever it may be, it's pretty scary. It's crazy what he can do. And I think in the show they portray him as ex-military, and I think that's another really cool thing about his character. Moving on to number 4, we have Daryl Dixon from The Walking Dead. You guys all know who Daryl is from The Walking Dead. He, in my opinion, is one of the most intimidating people in any TV show, because I just feel like if you were in a situation where Daryl is walking towards you with his crossbow and everything else, I don't think you're really going to know what to do. You're going to be a little bit amazed. It would be very, very intimidating to see Daryl in any situation walking towards you. I feel like he's another one who has been put in a lot of scenarios where he wasn't supposed to live, where the chances of him making it out were not very high, and he does what he has to do to make sure that he lives. And that is why he is at number 4. Moving on to number 3. This one might shock you guys a little bit. We have Jon Snow from Game of Thrones. So, Jon Snow is kind of weird to me, right? Like, he's my favorite character in all of Game of Thrones, but he's a little strange to me because he goes from being this bastard child that nobody likes to being a fighter for the Night's Watch, and then transitioning to the leader of the Night's Watch, and then transitioning to somebody who is basically, he's setting out to do what he thinks is right, what he's going to get done. And that when they leave off on that note of he's going to go do what he has to do, he has to accomplish, that is pretty mind-blowing. That's pretty amazing to me, and I feel like his character is probably going to change a lot in the next season, or the next 2 seasons, give or take. And we're going to see him probably do some things that we don't think Jon Snow would do, or we wouldn't imagine him doing, especially just some of the characters that he's going to meet up with again that he hasn't seen in a while that have perhaps done him wrong. Moving on to number 2 here, we have Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. You guys all know this. When Rick goes off the rails, off the hinges, he is insane. He will kill people, he will fuck you over, he will hang you out to dry, he will torture you, and he all does it to protect himself and his group. That is all that he is about, is keeping his kids safe and the members of his group, and he won't let anybody fuck with who is in that group. And to me, that he's a family man. In the world of a zombie apocalypse, he is quite literally a family man, and that is pretty impressive to me, not only from the standpoint of being able to survive in a zombie apocalypse, but the ultimate threat, which is people, being able to withstand anything that they throw at him. Okay, so before I get to the number 1 on this list, I have some honorable mentions, because like I said, this was a really hard thing to make. So on my honorable mentions, I have Tyrion Lannister, I have Catwoman from Gotham, Harvey Bullock from Gotham, Alfred Pennyworth from Gotham, Walter White from Breaking Bad. I'm sure you guys were kind of wondering where the Breaking Bad characters were in this. And then also Michonne from The Walking Dead. I will have all of their pictures up there on screen. They should already be there. Now, the number 1 person on this list, out of every badass character that I've seen from any TV show, would be Jax Teller. So Jax Teller, in the show, his dad died. He's part of a motorcycle gang, I guess you could say. And as the series goes on, he learns the truth, and he turns from being this guy who is only good, right? He only wants the right thing to come to his club and what he thinks should happen to certain people, to being pretty much fuck everyone. You know, everyone is a threat to my club, and I'm going to keep them, my club and myself and family safe. And you will see him hunt down people nonstop and basically give them what he feels like they deserve. And I think that is part of what makes not only Sons of Anarchy such a great show, but his character. I feel like he, out of every other character, is the most intimidating, the most scary, and will go to the craziest of lengths to achieve what he is trying to do. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Once again, can you comment down below what you think of this list, and also what you would like to see in future top 10s coming in the future. Twitter and Facebook links will be down in the description. As always, if you guys would like to join Instinct, the application will also be down in the description. And that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. The video is going to be one of the last videos that I made, and deuces.